Hi people, Rick from Raar Recordings here. Today I'm gonna talk about the Zoom R8, and the Zoom R8 is one of my most favorite pieces of kit I have. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It has so many functions, and I keep finding myself using it for ever different purposes whatsoever. Basically, the Zoom R8 is a recording interface with the possibility to record directly on an SD card that you can put in the side. It has two microphone inputs that are also combi, so you can go in with a guitar cable, so a jack, or you can go in with XLR. It has two balanced jack outputs with a separate volume knob. It has headphones out with separate volume knob, a controller for putting things on off, and an on off switch button. At the front, it has 8 faders because you can have 8 virtual tracks. I believe actually you can have 16 virtual tracks, meaning that you can record 2 tracks at the same time. But after that, you can say, okay, I transpose those to tracks 3 and 4, and I record 2 new ones while these are being played. And you can bounce them, do mix downs, everything. If you don't know what that is, well, I could explain it now, but it would be too much. It can do this directly to SD card, but it also has a USB connector with which you can power the whole device, and then it becomes a recording interface with which you can record to your PC using a DAW, a computer program like Ableton or Cubase. It even comes, I think, new. You can get Cubase Lite with it, if I'm not mistaken. I have this for quite a while now, so I can't remember anymore. But I believe it came with Cubase. These are the gain knobs. You can, I think it goes to 60 dB of gain. You can switch for hi-hat inputs, mic line inputs, or built-in mics. It has phantom power, so if you're using a condenser mic, you can hook them up and supply phantom power to it. It has very much, it has a lot of functions. What does it have more? It has an effects unit built in that you can use actually if you go at CD quality, so 44.1. You can use these effects real time. It has guitar amp simulators in there. So you have the hi-hat input. You can hook up a guitar directly and use guitar emulations of Marshall stacks and 5150s and stuff like that. They aren't brilliant, they're not the best in the world, but they're workable. And the nice thing about them is that you can actually record them dry while hearing the guitar effects on your ears. Okay, well, I've been using this as an audio interface for quite a while. Mostly when I'm recording a band, I have another interface that has 16 channels for using for recording drums, guitar, bass, everything at the same time. And if we go back to another day for tracking, say, the vocals or stuff like that, I'll take this little unit with me and you record the vocals separately on this. It's very easy because you have this knob here that, I don't know if you can zoom in, just a sec. Yes, there it is. Focus. There it is. You see, it says balance, and you can switch the balance between master, click, just I have to look up next to the camera, to direct, and DAW. DAW is the recording interface. So say you want to record vocals and you have the band recorded already and you push play in your recording interface, then you can here make a mix between the signal you want to record and the signal that is being played back to the singer very fast, very quickly. The next nice thing this thing does is it has a MIDI connection through USB, with which you have these control buttons when you use it in the DAW, and you can control the DAW with it. So if for instance, I used to work with Cubase and Nuendo. If I want to start or stop my Cubase, then I can press play here, and I can press record here, and even get this button to jog forward and back. So it's actually also a controller for your DAW. You can even control the faders with these. These are not automated, I tell, but for just basic automation and stuff like that, these work a charm. Okay, the main reason I'm using it now, and for which it's absolutely brilliant, is I'm a drummer, and it's an excellent backing track player. Why? Because you can send a dedicated audio signal to the headphones and have a separate volume. What does that mean? Well, instead of a MIDI click, what most drummers do nowadays is they have like an MP3 player or a wave player or a computer or something, and they split the signal left and right. One side is the metronome signal they put on their ears, and the other one is the music or the choirs or the backing track or whatever is on there, and it's mono signal, and it goes to the mixer in the hall itself, in the venue itself, to the front of the house. What this does is you can make a stereo track and send it out to the front of the house, and you can have an audio track metronome. It also has a built-in metronome, but say you have a tempo track or anything that goes up and down in tempo, you can take a separate audio track, mono or stereo, and route it separately to the headphones. So in my case, I use the metronome quite regularly, but I don't want the metronome to be fixed. So you start with 120 BPM and you end at 120 BPM, because everything sounds a little, mechanically. And if you want that in a song, that's brilliant. But if you want it to be a little bit more alive and you can throw your own feel in it, then it's excellent to make an audio track of your metronome where you can make variables in your tempo and send that to your headphones. I make a recording of me playing a song in the rehearsal, and then without a metronome, and after that make a click track based on those tempos, and make that my click track. So when you hear me play live, the tempo goes up and down and sways a little bit, but I still play with a backing track, and you can still hear all of the music and everything. So you can use this as a backing track player. What makes it ideal is that you have the SD card option. So you just put your audio files on SD card in the side, like here. You have this little clip you take off, and then here you just put your SD card, you put your audio files on it. The device is actually also a card reader, so you don't even need to take the card out. You can just hook it up to a computer, and instead of audio interface, select the card reader option, and you can transport your audio files directly onto the card. And then you just, in the system, you route all the files to the channels you want to have them routed to play them. Another excellent thing about this is, and I have had this happen to me live, is that it also runs on batteries, because it just needs USB power. You don't need a dedicated power source, because it can run on a power bank. It can run on just a phone charger in the socket, no problems. But it also runs on 4 AA batteries. So I have to put them in, and you see it just starts like this. And then you have this tiny little menu. And it's rather quick actually, because I can show you. I have a new lens, but it isn't the champion of focusing, I see. Can I do it manually? No, I'm just turning and nothing happens. Maybe I can put the f-stop up a bit, like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that, but then I have to go up the ISO. Also, like this. Okay, well, cool. There you see, if I hope you can read this, it says intro. And when I start up, I start from scratch. It's just exactly the same when I'm not running it on batteries, but on power. You have to on switch 3, 2, 1, and it's loading the last project. Here it is, intro. Well, I can push play and everything starts playing, and I'm playing actually my first track. Everything I saved into project, so every song you have live is a project. And you think, oh well, that's complicated. No, it's not. You go to projects, and then you see new and select. You just go to select with the cursors down here. You choose select, and all these names you see here are names of songs. So I'll choose, like one of the songs is Misguided. Just push enter, it loads, and it's done. If I push play now, it starts playing the backing track. Well, how does the routing work? Actually, I have on tracks 1 and 2, I have the backing track. On tracks 3 and 4, I have the click track, the metronome, and I have routed internally, which comes with the manual. I routed the 3 and 4 to the headphones. And you can transpose that to all the new projects. You don't have to use that every time. It's pretty easy. And that way you have a standalone backing track player that sends out stereo tracks. You have your own volume for your headphone. This thingy also works now because it works when you use it standalone. It's not between your recording signal and the DAW. No, your computer program. No, now it's your backing track versus your click, your metronome. You have a switch. You can even choose to put the metronome also on the outputs, the left and the right. And if you put it to the right, it's only routed to the headphones. And here you make a balance between the click and the backing track. So it's all in front. You don't need to use the faders. If you have set the audio one time, it will save that, and then it will start every time it starts at the starting position with the faders set to 0. But even if you put them down, every time you start the program again, it doesn't recognize the faders, but it starts at fader setting 100. So you have max volume, or volume till the line here, because you have some extra volume. Okay, that's for backing track functions. It really is very simple. If you want to use this and also want to have a monitor sound, you can use this in combination with a little behringer box. It's called the MH400. I'll leave a link somewhere later on. And that has inputs and outputs and dedicated headphone outs, and there are also 2 volume knobs. I'll show you. And then you hook it up with this. You put these together in a little case or something like that, and you're done. You don't need a laptop. You don't need a PC or anything of the kind. Nothing can go wrong. You just start it up, and you have your songs. You press play. Even if the power cuts out, it will keep playing. What did I want to say more? Yes, it works on SD card, so there are no moving parts. Everything's solid state, so it works very fast, very cleanly, and it's a very reliable source. It's also very light. You see, I'm taking it with 2 fingers. Okay, what did I do myself? I have this little stand for a conductor to put sheet music on, but it's a very small one with a little clamp at the back, and you can hook it up on every microphone stand. And I put some Velcro at the back of this one and put that on the stand. So I can hold the stand upside down and it doesn't fall off. It's very secure. And it's a very easy way to, get this done. Okay, the last function the R8 has is it has two built-in microphones. So say you're at rehearsal and you're behind the drums or whatever you play, and you're like, I want to make a recording of what we're doing right now. You just switch the little knobs here to built-in mics, and you have a stereo mic setup. You just press record, and in the project, you select the channels. You see they're red now. You press record, and the two channels are being recorded. It is really a Swiss Army knife. You can do almost everything with it. Most of the time I use this with the Phantom on, and I do my, narration into a condenser mic I have here and go into the Zoom R8. So I use it as a kind of a field recorder. It's just a little bigger. Okay. That's it for now. If you have any questions about the workings or you want something else explained with this, please leave a comment in the comment section and I will respond to you.